ready to hit her. And she says, "What are you doing?" So he says, "How dare you?" So he explained, "Oh, well, I thought this, and I thought you like getting beaten up, and then you bring the good food." He says, "How dare you?" Then she said, "I am the dunya. It is because of his status that I am enslaved to him." So this point about that hadith again, the hadith al-Qudsi that Allah SWT mentioned. So again, this point is here, that I am the dunya, and it's because of his status, I am enslaved by him. And for you, you are already my slave. Why? Because even though he was in the jungle, he still had his desires with him. So he carried his desires into the jungle. Desires of becoming famous, desires of money, desires of wearing nice clothes, or desires of the love of dunya, so these things. So he was there. Like, for example, we're in the masjid now. And this is why I asked at the beginning, what is our purpose? What have we come here for? Now, some of us might bring the dunya with us inside the masjid as well. Physically, we might be present, but mentally, we might be absent. So physically, we're present, but mentally, we can be absent. Where were we absent? We're somewhere outside. We think, "Oh, I could have been at home, chilling, with my feet up, watching TV. I don't want to be here. I've just come because, I had to come, or wherever I come to meet a friend." So this desire of this person was there. So the friends of Allah focus on the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously. And then the dunya comes to seek them. You see how many friends of Allah, they're not interested in the world. They're not interested at all. But you don't see them in poverty, do you? They're not in poverty. So the friends, the mashaykhs are saying that if you understand this point, it will break us out of our shell. This point is very important. So the dunya, whatever you're going to receive in your life, whatever risk you're going to receive, it will come to you. No matter what, all you have to do is try, but whatever is destined for you is going to come to you. So for example, if in your destiny was written that you will get, say, £20,000 that you will earn this year, or 30,000, some people 40,000, then your job is to try and make the effort to find, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide whatever is destined for you. It will come to you. So there's no point for you to do anything haram or anything as such, that takes you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, the other point is people who guard their modesty. So people who don't guard their modesty, they're thinking that, "Oh, I'll have an illicit relationship because she's going to be my wife. Otherwise, if I don't, then it'll be difficult for me to find a wife." And then they go into this illicit relationship. But whatever you're going to end up with is going to be destined for you as well. It'll come the halal way. So don't think that you're missing out on anything. Don't think, "Oh, I'm missing out on this, I'm missing out on this." You're not missing out on anything. Whatever is going to come will come to you. So this is all a deception of the shaitan. This is all the deception of the shaitan. So this is about the world that we talked about. And now the second point is about the nafs. So inshallah we'll try and finish this today. If not, then I might just do half and half next time, inshallah. So we'll do a quick recap on what we done before, inshallah. So in the next piece, so you don't forget. So people always struggle with their nafs. So our nafs is the lower desires of ourselves. So we always struggle. So once a seeker, a person went to his Shaykh, and he mentioned, about his nafs affecting him. So the friends of Allah, they have a certain way of how to communicate with the nafs. So they went into this meditation, whatever. Anyway, that's beside the point. But the question was asked to the nafs, "Oh nafs, why are you giving this person a hard time?" He's trying to take you to Jannah, but why are you giving this person a hard time? So he said, this disciple of yours comes into my territory and steals my treasures. And that's why I'm giving him a hard time. So he says, what is your territory and what are your treasures? So this is like for us to understand. When we say our nafs is giving us a hard time, I can't overcome this problem, it's continuous, affecting me constantly. This is all the time we talk about this. My nafs got the better of me. So what was this? So he said, the nafs said is heedlessness, forgetfulness, being neglectful. So heedlessness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is with us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. I am with my servant wherever he is. So Allah is with us, He's watching us, He's hearing us. But it's us that forget. Because of this forgetfulness, we let other things enter into our mind and enter into our heart. And because of this, we start entering into sins. And the treasures of fornication, jealousy, arrogance, pride, showing off, anger, these are many different traits that affects a person. Why? Because he was neglectful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now if you was, imagine if you were in the presence of Allah, and if you were truly in the presence of Allah, how would you behave? How would you behave? So if you in the presence of your teacher, I've seen brothers, I've seen how they behave. They're very quiet, full of adab, full of respect. Yeah? And they only speak when they're spoken to. And they have so much respect. And now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with us. But we forget. And when we forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then other things start creeping into our minds and into our hearts. So these are, they mentioned, these are my treasures. I steal from me these qualities. I don't want to harm him, but rather it's him that disturbs me. So ask your disciple not to enter my kingdom and steal my treasures, and I won't bother him. So the teacher, the Shaykh, said to his murid that you should enter the kingdom of Allah, which is the presence of Allah. So you should enter that presence, the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as much as possible. How we can do this? Have this constant thought in your mind that Allah is with me, Allah is watching me, Allah is hearing me. Don't just keep on saying it. So for example, there's something called affirmations that the non-Muslims use. So for example, if they not say they can't do anything, they feel not confident in doing something, what they do is they keep on telling themselves that I am confident, I am confident, I am confident, I can do this. Even if you look at celebrities, superstars, even people that go on stage, they do it as well. And in time, what happens is you keep on telling yourself more and more these things, then it starts getting embedded into your mind and into your heart. So if you constantly remind yourself, Allah is with me, Allah is watching me, Allah is hearing me. So first you might forget a few times, and then what will happen is slowly, because of your constant reminder, it will start entering into your mind, then entering into your heart, then you'll start feeling the presence of Allah. But the initial point is you have to start yourself first, and you have to take account, okay, how many times have I remembered Allah today? And don't say all at once, like 20 times, Allah is with me, Allah is with me, Allah, like you do the dhikr, Allah is with me, Allah is with me, Allah is with me. No. Try and space it out throughout the day, maybe 20, 30 times throughout the day, and then this will have an effect, and really reflect that Allah is with me, Allah is watching me. So every action I do, I've picked up this cup, Allah is watching me, Allah is watching my move that I picked up this cup. Don't just like say it in your mind, but really, focus on that as well. So one is the remembrance of Allah, and one is that the person continuously remembers Allah afterwards. So these are two different things. So one is you've just remembered Allah, for that moment. And the second is, for example, when a person prays Salah, what do we do after Salah? We totally forget the presence of Allah. Even the people who get the presence of Allah in Salah, afterwards, after Assalamu alaikum, it's like, that's it. You've just cut it off there. But after, one is the remembrance, and one is keeping the remembrance active of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one, after your Salah, just monitor yourself. How long can you stay in the presence of Allah? Instead of like chatting, salam, this, that, the other. I mean, you can do that outside, not here. But even then, when you're speaking to another person, you can still have it in your mind that Allah is watching me speak to the person. I'm shaking his hand, Allah is watching me shake his hand. So you like actually bringing that presence of Allah. And the more you try it, the more you'll see that inshallah you will be, even throughout your day, throughout your activities, you will have this inshallah. So instead of us, instead of the nafs affecting us or we affecting the nafs, well, why don't we follow the Prophet ﷺ, take the gifts from the Prophet ﷺ, which is thankfulness, patience, remembrance, reliance and piety. So the nafs invites us, but we are the ones who are oppressing the nafs. So the nafs is like a child, a brainless person. So imagine somebody, so for example, I'll just give you one example so you understand. So imagine you go home, and you're outside, and in your mind you want burger and chips. So in your mind you're thinking, I want burgers and chips, and I want a can of Coke to wash it down. I want a pizza. So this person has got in his mind that I want this, and now he's already tasting it. Sometimes we think of something and we're actually tasting it on our tongue. Are you tasting the burger? So anyway, I'm sorry, you're not going to get a burger tonight. So anyway, so the person is tasting. So he's thought it in his mind, and sometimes you feel, you're there actually tasting the burger. Anyway, so this person has a desire for a burger and chips and drink. So he goes home and his mother's made, even say biryani, but in his mind, that biryani, even if he eats it, it won't taste nice to him. Why? Because his desire is for burger and chips and a Coke. And what will happen? It'll continuously bombard him. The next day, even then, he'll still think of chips, burger and drink. Isn't that the case? I mean, am I telling the truth or am I just making this up? When you desire something constantly, or say it might be another worldly thing like a mobile phone. You looked at a mobile phone and you think, I want this mobile, and then you start doing research on it and constantly thinking about this mobile phone. And so the nafs is like that, it's desire. It just wants. It doesn't have a brain, doesn't recognize whether this is right or this is wrong, but it just wants more and more and more and more. And then what we do as human beings, we are weak, we give in. We give in to this, and we say, let's take this from another point of view, a sin. Now the sin comes into our mind, it looks very, desirable, and then we think, I want to commit this sin. But it's continuously bugging you. You might pick up the Quran, you might come to the masjid, but this is constantly bugging you. And you probably get a relief after you've committed that act, or after you've had your burger, chips and a drink. Then you feel, then another desire comes, and then you want another thing. But desires are not for this world, you see. The desires are connected to the hereafter. Like in Jannah, wherever you desire, Allah will give it to you. Wherever you desire, Allah will give it to you. So I want this, I want that. So Allah will say, Allah subhanahu will say, do you want anything else? Do you want anything more? Yes, Allah, I want anything more. Continuously, this will be fulfilled for you. So the desires are not for this world, but desires are for the hereafter. So if we understand this point, and one of the ways to conquer this, as soon as the thought, this is revealed by the shaitan himself, like to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, at that time, or one of the prophets at that time, that as soon as the thought comes into your mind to do haram, take this thought out of your mind straight away. Don't let it be embedded into your mind. If you take this out straight away out of your mind, then inshallah this won't affect you. It won't go any further than that. And this is what this whole course of purification that you see, we don't really take this seriously, but this is a gem. What I've just mentioned, these are the things, the course of purification helps a person, come out of this, the shackles of the shaitan, and puts them onto the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's closeness. Anyway, I've only managed to talk about a couple of things. So the third was, I was going to talk about that shaitan himself, but inshallah next time, when I get the opportunity, then we will go into that inshallah. So subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. One last thing I want to mention is